In our view, Latin America is experiencing a long-term growth trend in oil and gas production. It is driven by the key established players in the region, which are Brazil, Guyana, and Argentina. And now we have Venezuela somehow entering this group of countries. We expect production growth from these countries to be in the range of 1.5 to 2 million barrels per day over the next 10 years. From our perspective, the region is very compelling, and particularly the fact that each country brings its own resource base, its portfolio of projects, and also a distinct ecosystem of operators. It's also very important and somehow overlooked that the energy policy in these countries remains firmly in the hands of government. So understanding this balance between commercial opportunity and regulatory framework is essential to the evaluation of the role Latin America is going to play in terms of hydrocarbon production over the next 10 years.
Let's start with Brazil. The country remains one of the key drivers for oil production growth in Latin America. Pre-salt projects are ramping up. Multiple FPSOs will come online in the next few years, and there is a strong pipeline of projects which have yet to reach FID. But the real story for investors is exploration. BP last year announced its biggest discovery in 25 years at Bumerangue, while Petrobras is currently drilling Morpho, a high-impact well in northern Brazil. Recent acreage awards, the caliber of the companies involved, and the scale of prospective resources make the country the frontier for long-term upside. Two pillars support long-term growth in Brazil. The diversity of the local business environment, you have Petrobras, majors, independents from Brazil and abroad, and the strength of Brazil's institutional framework, which provides a mature, predictable governance structure that gives confidence to operators. Another major growth driver in the region is Argentina. The country has firmly established itself as a shale story. The quality of Vaca Muerta is definitely proven. What's changed recently is the role of local players, particularly YPF, and the impact of RIGI, the investment incentive framework designed to attract capital. The more than $100 billion committed to upstream and midstream projects under RIGI, which clearly shows we're seeing the early stages of a new investment wave. Local operators are articulating clear investment requirements, and that roadmap could be the catalyst to bring international capital back into the country.
With respect to Guyana and also Suriname, for us, these countries represent a near-term production upside for the region. Upstream production projects are on track, and they will be timely executed. There's also an unexplored frontier. As of now, all production concentrates within the so-called Golden Lake, and outside this area, production is non-existent and exploration in the area is limited. Another important consideration for these two countries is natural gas resources. Both associated gas and unassociated gas resources are significant. And the forward-looking question is whether Guyana and Suriname can become a source of LNG export. Possibility we think is worth watching closely. With respect to Venezuela, we have to start by saying that Venezuela's reserve base remains unmatched. It's still one of the world's largest crude oil reserves. Since the U.S. intervention in January 2026, there's a new unpack licensing framework and a new Venezuelan hydrocarbon law that together build a dual framework where both governments are setting the stage for hydrocarbon investment and production reactivation. Incumbent companies, specifically Chevron, Repsol, Eni, and Shell, are already positioning themselves under a new regulatory framework. There's an important growth potential for oil, especially for areas in the Orinoco Belt, where scale can be significant if investment and infrastructure is available. With respect to natural gas, which has been a secondary resource for Venezuela, it's also important in terms not only of the undeveloped reserves, but the potential growth of supply that can first go to domestic markets, and then for remaining surpluses, export markets, specifically LNG, could be an option. And so in our view, the new potential entrants, besides the incumbents, are beginning to truly assess opportunities in Venezuela. There are areas in the Orinoco Belt, the Maracaibo Basin, north of Monagas, and offshore gas that are attracting different types of international operators. However, there is a reality check, and we think progress will be gradual. There are fiscal methodologies that are still pending, infrastructure assessments that remain incomplete, and guidance on how the new acreage will be awarded. So this ambiguity creates also risks that basically make Venezuela an upstream opportunity that will require to navigate uncertainty.
So, in conclusion, across Latin America, the combination of resource diversity, maturing projects, and renewed policy focus creates a compelling medium-term outlook. The winners will be those who understand both the commercial potential and the regulatory reality that is unique to each country.